Puppet Master as bans.
No, that is something. All four heroes were seen the first game. That is one of those things that I just don't know if we really ever have seen her. It's been very little if we have. So, but yeah, that means several heroes are opened up because of that. And
Itis Warbeast, which
yep.
were banned last game, are now going to both be picked up by BMG. So have a little bit of switching up this game.
So you brought up an interesting point last game in that draft there, as Scout coming out for ECX. Imboboy has ran a little bit of Scout here lately, but how Salamon did get a little bit of nerf, Sandwraith, with that mock change. Now,
Right.
are they?
Each bane is on the board, so.
Do you still expect to see them? Like,
Solomon and Magebane?
no, Salamon and Sandwraith really,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
like the mock
Magebane's just on my
heroes.
mind.
Yeah.
Play against that hero all day.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I definitely do. They're both still very good heroes, very viable, of course. They're just not quite at that tier where we're gonna see teams constantly picking them up, in the first three picks like we were seeing for maybe a month, 2 or 3 now, however long it's been. Um, so yeah, they just toned down slightly, I'll say.
Yeah.
Also, something to point out, TDL did get a little bit of a rebirth. It's not quite back to where it was from my understanding. I believe the cooldown was at 8 or 9 seconds. Sorry, I'm gonna mix up that number, but now it is at 11 on the charging strike. So that is good to see, and I do think that we will be seeing more Dark Lady in the future with that change. So that is good.
Good
Uh,
point. Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah,
3 seconds less. Okay.
with the Scout picked up, I don't think we'll see a Mage Bane. They do already have a War Beast as a carry or semi-carry, however you look at it. Um, so yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Mage Bane this game.
I mean, he is open, but
Yeah.
yeah, as you're pointing out, may not make most sense this game around. But yeah, Scout seen by ECX always fine. Aluna the third pick for BMG over here, but yeah, get the bands to fall now. Yeah, Scout. It really is something as far as a hero goes. Again, he's kind of had that history, the icon, the face of the troll, basically of Heroes of New Earth. Especially early days. I mean, he was known as this very trollish hero. With I guess just him having a stealth factor, how he worked with kill steal potential, his ultimate of course fun. But
hmm
he actually is a pretty legit hero in a lot of ways. Again, the biggest thing being the disarm that he brings. For the longest time, he was the only thing in the game that provided disarm. Now, of course, we have another hero in Vindicator, and even an item on top of that applies disarm. But still, it's a strong tool to
Yeah,
have.
and the
So,
nice thing about picking up a Scout is we still don't know whether that will be an offlane Scout because Zane is a Scout player, by the way. Um, It is just more common to, at the moment, see it in the carry position, which Imboboy plays a fantastic scout. So it could realistically be played in either the offlane or as a hard carry. So we don't quite know just yet where it's going to go. If it is played as an offlaner, it is very disruptive to junglers. I myself really dislike playing against scouts who dedicate their time to blocking my camps with eyes. Something to point out again is that Words of Revelation do not spot out, scout eyes. So it can be tricky at times to find those eyes in camps and stuff. It is very disruptive to junglers, which Warbeast could potentially be a jungler. We do not know just yet. So
that's true. Yeah.
there's a lot of varying stuff that could happen at the moment with the two drafts developing.
No certainties just yet. Doctor, Repulsor, Parasite, Moraxis, Clanks, Deadwood, and Lodestone. That for certain, we know those are the bans. And now the fourth pick, Hellbringer is being right-clicked, actually. That would not be surprising. To even see Hellbringer still available at this point is a little bit surprising in itself. But I would not be, again, shocked if ECX goes for that here, seeing that he is still left open. Um,
Definitely not.
Behemoth was banned, right? No. Wait. Oh, no, yes. Behemoth was banned, yes. Okay.
He was blind banned
Yeah.
by, I believe, BMG.
Isn't that funny we still call it a blind ban, even though it's not a blind ban
Oh,
anymore?
it's not blind.
That comes from
Yeah.
the previous draft mode, yeah. the blind pick.
In mid wars it's blind, right? Like you don't actually see
Mid
what the
wars it
band
is,
type they have.
yes.
Okay, so in mid wars it's technically a blind pick, but
Okay.
in captain was a captain's pick.
Yeah.
It's not really blind.
Nope. You actually get to see what they're doing there.
You can
So
also hear it too. It even there's an announcer, so it's not blind or deaf.
no, it's not. Covering all bases here, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Pharaoh gets picked up. So now I think that locks in Scout as a carry for Imba Boy, as Zane is the standout offlane Pharaoh player.
Yeah.
So uh, more draft developing. We'll probably see either a mid or a jungler get picked up as the last pick for ECX, and Rally going to be the initiator choice. I like that pick a lot because he can compel teammates out of Mummy Wall. Very similar to playing against a Kraken, you can compel whoever's locked in the release the Kraken out, and it kind of nullifies that hero to an extent. So it is a good choice in my opinion. It's a solid initiator, and I think we brought it up on a cast before where he did recently get a little bit of a buff with his battle experience. So his laning phase as well as his solo killing potential has been increased just a little bit, enough to make him a solid hero.
Yeah. Yeah, Raleigh, it's been fun kind of seeing him kind of jump back onto the scene. He definitely is an entertaining hero with that seismic slam and the compel, a pretty useful tool overall. So the nice little, again, a revert you could essentially call it to him was a good addition, and clearly something that teams have picked up on, definitely, including BMG here, going to be playing it, and they finish with the Ophelia on top of it all. You saw Hellbringer did eventually get picked up by ECX with their 5th pick as well, so, and we are good to go as far as the drafts now. So Fusing going to be back-to-back games on Ophelia. Gotta say, he played the first game, very well, actually. You would think he's a typical jungler, the way he played it, so definitely solid from him. And where did Rally end up? It was Make. Make is going to be playing it. Okay.
So yeah, this time around, game two, both teams going for very similar styles of drafts with a lot of different heroes. ECX going for another dual support lineup with a hard carry. This time not running 2 carries, as they have the Pharaoh in the offlane. And then BMG going for that team fighting, pushing lineup with their hard carry being, it looks like, to be their offlane hero again. So they are going to short lane prioritize, I think, a Rally. Last game it was a Pebble. So going to put Balthazar in the mid lane on the Midas, another solo hero. And yeah, both teams going for basically a similar style of draft with just different overall heroes.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Hellbringer for Legion instead of the Chipper, which makes a lot more sense, I would say, than the Chipper did last game. I think I like the Hellbringer a lot more. He's a very good team fighter. Pharaoh likes to be in on the action very early. Even Scout can participate quite early, roaming around with that Vanish. So
Yeah.
I like the drafts a little bit better this game.
Yeah, Emma Boy's fun to watch play it too. The way he is pretty aggressive. I mean, sure he'll prioritize some lane farm definitely, but we've seen him in the past. Even after he gets a ring cleaver, things like that, he'll look for kills. He'll go in the other jungle. He'll start farming over there. I guess it's not even necessarily looking for kills. That's the impressive thing. It's more so just he uses the whole map is the other big thing too. It's not just sitting in that short lane, farming like a lot of carries would tend to do, maybe rotating their own jungle. But yeah, Scout definitely allows you that freedom to go into other lanes and the other jungle for that matter is talking about. So yeah, interesting stuff here. It looks like Shrimpy is having some issues. Right as he reconnects, he gets DC'd right away. So not sure what that's about. He has modded files, it says. All right, well, at least it's at the beginning of the game here, so I guess if we have to remake,
Yeah.
but...
And the other nice thing about how Imbaboy plays Scout is, as you point out, if he looks for the kills, and then if he doesn't happen to find those kills, he'll just do something like rotate over to the enemy Ancients, farm them, and then block them with an eye, which is so disruptive to the other team because A, you don't know whether they're blocked or they were just farmed, and then B, you can't be stacking and farming them for yourself. So it's just very disruptive playing against his Scout.
Yeah.
He plays it really phenomenally.
Oh, yeah, I remember those Stay Green days of the Suicide Scout and saw the electric eyes constantly being placed in those camps at the beginning and having to deal with that.
Yeah, and since he has the farm, because he will be farmed, he gets to actually kill your camp and then block it. Whereas it's not just He blocked my camp. It's like he
True.
actually takes the farm and blocks it.
Very true. Well, looks like Luna is good to go. Got whatever figured out. Turned off his hacks here. Wow.
Map hack is off.
Good to go, yeah. So.
Darn it, we gotta buy wards now.
I know. Ruins everything.
Yep.
Gotta actually try here. What is this rally skin? There's like goo dripping from him. I guess is that like a special or something? Like a
You know, I think they
bonus?
changed the effects on some of the avatars. I actually played Rally. I think it was yesterday. It might have been 2 days ago. I forget, but I'm a terrible Rally player. But I noticed this effect, and it was like super cool. I was like, did they change this?
Ah,
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet.
it's just like randomly, just constantly driven. And to me, it just looks a little odd. Even,
It looks
but
like the what's it, the Seven Sins hammer skin where he like drips
oh yeah,
blood when he walks around, but this one is like green from
but
his
that kind of
sword
makes sense though. It's
or whatever
blood.
his weapon is called.
Oh, that's just weird. Big cleaver. Yeah, what is that weapon? It's like a blunt object.
It
It's not
looks
even a sword.
it looks pretty sick though,
It
like
does
the
look really
green.
cool.
I think it's because it's like a neon green looking color. I don't know, it just looks cool.
It's like one of those that the map was all of a sudden just go dark. You'd like glow in the dark. You would,
So it's not often we see a short lane farming rally, so I'm actually quite interested to see. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the portal key just so we have initiation, but then does that mean he's going to get an early Staff of the Master or something like that? Because it is so fun to watch a rally when he picks up Staff. The potential for the big alties is just it's just so cool to watch in my opinion.
I remember when that staff first happened on this hero, and it was kind of overlooked a lot of the way. I remember it being one of those like, oh, that's a fun staff. It's not something that's going to be that great though. You know, it's just increases the ratio or whatever. But it's one of those things when you actually see it in practice. Holy crap, it is actually
you
really
feel
good.
that difference for sure. It's very noticeable, and on paper it might not seem like a lot, but in practice it's humongous. It's arguably one of the better staff effects I think in the game.
Oh,
for heroes.
Top lane. Speaking of rally up here, he's dealing with Pharaoh with a couple of teammates. They're gonna get it. It's just who they give it to is the question. Okay, Fuset will actually take credit for it. So, yeah, Pharaoh against Zane, arguably the best Pharaoh player on the scene now, but just simply caught a little too far up right there. And
yeah, Catman is one of it's I think the strongest minion that Ophelia could get as a first minion. Does 150 damage with the smash and on top of the massive slow. It's so hard to get away from that if you don't have an escape. So really, unfortunately, not a whole lot Zane could do there. Might have actually caught him off guard as well. Ophelia starting on the left camp rather than to the right, which is I think more standard. But it gets the bloodlust and boxes Pharaoh out of the lane. So it's a really good rotation.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting, though, to see what Rally does with his with this early farm that as you're talking about. You know, Maki again playing in the short lane, clearly prioritizing for him. Obviously, Portal Key first, but where does he go from there, definitely? Midas, he is going to be fine. Yeah, so he takes a lot of pressure in the middle. Hellbringer and Andromeda the ones doing it to him. And it's understandable. That's something difficult to deal with. Pharaoh over here, he actually places a ward aside to block this camp as Ophelia's doing it. And he's kind of just sitting nearby, looking for somewhere to go. Again, obviously the top lane is not the friendliest. And he is going to be a little bit of a struggle here because of that at this point in the game. But double damage room top. Hellbringer going to probably, well, no, she doesn't have a bottle actually, so not just yet. Somebody will eventually get it here. Whoever does, going to hitting a little bit extra hard now. But Pharaoh does make its way back to the top lane, and he is going to be able to get some nice experience now. So bottom lane, Scout, I assume, is doing pretty good. 17, 18-2 now. Yeah, he is doing very good here. 4-0 Warbeast in the meantime. Also level 4 Scout, so obviously a very strong start for him.
Yeah, I think Warbeast got his initial pull off, thus getting level 2. However, I did notice Magnus disrupted his pull about a minute ago, so he actually lost the wave in the jungle and didn't get to pull that one, but did get the lane control nonetheless, so he's going to get his lane positioning experience. We do have Andromeda rotating to try to set up a dive here. Oxy, oh wow, he did spot that out, I guess, with that ward of sight in the river. So that's a good heads up so that he doesn't get ganked. Picks up the early marchers as well.
Yeah, good job by Boxy there. Presence of mind. And it's going to be more than fine result of that. The battle cry, only level 1. Actually curious about that. He actually gets the 1 point in a Primal Rage as well, despite being in the offlane here. Usually that's something, if anything, in the jungle we would see, but what is your take on that?
Excuse me,
Getting
on what?
the passive, the Primal Rage on Warbeast in the lane here.
Oh, yeah, it's something I've seen Boxy play this in scrims a couple times, and it's something I've noticed he's done. And to be quite honest, I don't know why he does it. As an offlane war base, you really don't benefit from having a little bit of extra base damage and attack speed. The extra base damage maybe helps you last hit, could be his reasoning, but why would you want that over having maxed out wolves in Battlecry, in my opinion? So I'm not too sure why he values that a little bit higher.
And it really is just such a greedy build, like greedy idea too. Not that that's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, greed doesn't necessarily equal bad, a lot of the time. But in this case, yeah, it's as you're getting at it. Now, this does allow.
If he goes and does this,
Exactly.
then it's not as bad because this will help him take out the camps faster. But for the laning aspect, it doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah. Well,
Ooh,
he is in trouble.
Boots on Magnus. Don't think he'll be able to catch up to him.
Scout has an
Unless
ultimate.
Andromeda catches him with a Comet Stun. He is coming over.
There's the Scout ulti, there's the Lava Surge, and yep, here comes the Scout out of the Vanish for the kill. So, Andro not even necessary in the end. The Scout ultimate, what is it even called? The Marksman shot, of course.
Yep.
Enough to do damage and get the kill right there. Yeah, Marksman shot, a nice ability there with the percent of their target health as well done damage. So, but yeah, top lane push coming in.
It is nice that ability does scale into the late game, being able to do a lot of damage to even heavy strength targets. So yeah, Scout can do quite a lot of work, even against very tanky targets.
Yep, showing that off right there a little bit there. So, does have a mana tube, even using a mana potion on top of that. So,
middle lane, Malphus comes out.
Oh yeah, big Malphus actually out of Midas. Is it going to be enough lockdown for the kill? That Death Boils up. Magnus is like, don't worry guys, I got this. Panny gets the kill, and he's actually got both of them here to start this game now in favor of ECX. So good roam on his part, and obviously a lot done by Malphus there though, helping her especially, and of course Andromeda even assisting. So overall, big gank in the middle. Even more pressure now on Make playing this rally to definitely make use of this early start that he has, which is a very good one. 1,500 gold already saved up. Already having Steam Boots on top of that, so he's doing well. 450 gold per minute, yes. That is pretty good.
Definitely. They get that tower very early on. He didn't get the Bloodlust, did go to Ophelia. Had he gotten that, he'd probably be sitting at about 500, which would be quite absurd, but yeah, 450, under 7 minutes in, nothing to scoff at. We'll have that portal key picked up in about 700 gold, as you pointed out. And good luck to do a lot of work once he picks that up.
You got Ophelia, 340 gold per minute herself. You mentioned she got the Bloodlust kill, so that definitely helping with that, but also just doing pretty good in the jungle, clearly. Again, Fusen, you really expect that this is his typical role, the way he's playing this, honestly, in this series so far. Warbeast, he's going to be fine. Magnus just applying a little bit of pressure there, but almost need to be careful at the same time. He got pretty low himself, but is going to survive. I think maybe there was a little bit of miscommunication there, but gets out. Gonna get the health potion and once again survive at least. So Maki though, that portal key, it's coming quickly. And you know, that's where he's a little bit different. He's more of like a Deadwood, I guess you could say, because of he will need his ultimate, and talking about Rally here, he needs the ultimate to really successfully get a solo kill. You know, unlike a Pebbles is more about chucking stalagmites and he can kind of reset quickly.
Yep.
So.
Yep, definitely a good point to bring up. That is a little bit of a different hero in terms of the Pebbles comparison. Yeah, and it doesn't scale, I would say, as well, because Pebbles obviously does have that ultimate where he gets attack damage and becomes a right-click hero to some degree.
Yeah.
Whereas Rally, he's more about that burst and that lockdown with the compel. So a little bit different there. Good point to bring up. Bottom lane Eruption does go out. Only going to get maybe one pulse onto him. Warby's going to look to turn this around now.
You see right there, though, he is going to actually, okay, they got the tower kill. That was an Ophelia's Touch also coming out there, just in case. But Warbeast was fine no matter what, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, kind of just distracting, if anything, as they push the tower in. So an attempt from Magnus, trying to make a play, obviously, without a portal key or a gap closer. It is pretty difficult. Get a good eruption off here. But at least they get the tower kill. But man, top lane, Ophelia joining up with Aluna here. They may push this. Well, the secondary tower, actually.
Rally has an Invis-rune with portal key picked up, roaming the Allegiant jungle, going to look for something here.
Uh-oh.
They want the scout, and it's very possible. Ooh, there's an electric eye. This could backfire.
That eye, is he going to be able to be clutch with
him.
it? They see him, yep. They know he's there. Andromeda shows that, though. There's the one, but there's the silence. What reactions on both sides, even the disjoint at the end there. To avoid the comment stun. So, very good play on both sides. Ultimately, no deaths as a result.
Ophelia rotating into the middle lane to pressure this tower. Rally going to rotate his way over.
You also got to see the radius of that silence there a little bit, too. Not only the image detection, but again, he was pretty far away from the electric eye, it felt like, and it still was close enough.
Yeah, that's quite good reveal range on Invis units. It's a nice tool for Scout to have. A nice, like, added tool, I'd say.
It's tower middle lane, heavy pressure onto it, but in the end, obviously, ECX going to defend it for now. You got Make. Now, again, they definitely know he has a portal key the way he used it to escape last time there. But he is looking for a kill still with that ultimate ready.
So, yeah, if this was a Pebbles instead of a Rally, I think we could have definitely seen a kill in the bottom lane. Perhaps even a kill at the moment in the middle lane, because they do have some vision of them. But Rally definitely being a different hero needs to channel up that ulti to get those kills. He's going to go in with the Compel here. Well, locking down Andro.
Yeah, good job right there. You also saw Rally, though, notice that he didn't use the Seismic Slam, didn't even try to, knowing that he probably would have been stunned if he tried to, and figured, you know what, I could do decent auto attack damage, so I might as well use that instead. Magnus stuns in, though. Ophelia's touch right before this, a big Malphus hits multiple heroes, but the follow-up not really there, so almost maybe it was big in the sense it landed on a lot, but not so big because it really didn't accomplish a lot at the same time, so it just stalls the fight, and that'll be it in the end, as Warbeast continues to farm at the bottom lane. While that's happening, at least. A little bit of open farm for him now because of the distraction right there. And again, this is feeling a little bit similar to last game in the sense that it doesn't feel like BMG necessarily is in a decent lead, but the stats suggest that they actually are. I mean, 4,000 gold and experience at just about middle lane in the meantime. They are going to catch Andromeda, actually. And now Malphus is going to fall here, too. I was watching the bottom lane. They were trying to gank Warbeast, but he just pops his ultimate, and he runs away. So Bad Monkey Gaming, again, another overall very good start for them.
Yeah, definitely. They're executing quite well. They have the game plan going into the game on what they want to do, and they're just they're sticking to that game plan quite well.
Yeah, it really has a lot of similarities to the first game where Imba Boy was the one. You know, in that case, the Puppet Master, he was farming very well. This time he's on Scout and doing very well. Yes, a little bit less than maybe the Puppet last game, but again, the farming tool, he doesn't have it just yet. Once he gets that Rune Cleaver, expect that GPM to start shooting up there a little bit. But this lead as a whole getting bigger and better for BMG, no doubt, as Rally is going to go elsewhere. Another 1,000 gold saved up on him. I know you're bringing that up earlier, and again, curious, will he go that staff? Will he go for something else instead? Maybe like the Soul's Bulwark, more of a team item there, and the Yara, but they got plenty of other heroes that can take care of that too, so can't really think of much else that would be great on him, but...
So Boxy has the Gloves of the Swift picked up, and I think he's going to go Elder Parasite, which I've seen him do other times I've seen him play Warbeast, and I'm not a fan of it. And I've pointed that out when I've watched these games, but I really dislike. And he even purchased the live tube there, so yeah, definitely going to be a Elder Parasite. I'm just not a fan of it. I think there's way better item choices that he could go for, and there's a lot of crowd control from the Legion side, where having that amp damage as well as having a later Shrunken Head picked up just means that he's not going to be able to do as much uh, once he pops that metamorphosis as he could be doing.
That really is interesting. I mean, yeah, the metamorphosis, it does allow him to attack pretty hard, hit pretty hard for that matter, and with the Elder Person on top of that, more attacks in there, seems like it would be pretty good, but I can understand what you're suggesting there, though, and obviously you're the experienced one at the same time. Now, this is actually a scout's going to get caught. Big catch right there. He was going around with a vanish, but this rev ward from Fusin, it saw him. It just simply put saw him as he was trying to sneak on by, and that's a thing. Obviously, Boy's a smart player, but even the top tier, it's every now and then you're on an invis hero, you're gonna just get caught in a spot that you least expected due to the good heads up on the other side.
See, Breaky, he's not playing jungle, he's playing support. He bought a rev ward,
yeah.
Got that kill onto Scout for his team. That's just a good heads up play by Fuz, and
very good,
yeah. Suspecting that Scout would do that and locking him down with the rally, good heads up play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, going back to that Elder, I mean, if this was before the Elder, the use modifier change where it wasn't usable with Shrunken, then absolutely it would be a pretty awful pick, I think you could argue. But yeah, at least having that opening still of being able to go a Shrunken head and kind of get the combo in there at least is decent, you could say. But
one thing I will point out is if he does go for something like a Shield Breaker, which is a very high damage item for its cost, in my opinion. That picked up with the EP, you do actually do tons of damage with the combination of EP Shield Breaker.
Yeah.
And it's just more of the idea of can Warby sit there and just auto attack, or will he get, stunned down from, the Malphus, the Lava Surge, the Comet Stun, that type of deal. Like, can he auto attack successfully, or will he get bursted down by stuns and the amp damage coming out from the Elder Parasite?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and also being the single core carry, you could argue the Elder is a little even riskier in that sense too. But yeah, the capabilities of hitting that much harder is pretty good. You
Look
see
at
right
how
here.
much damage he's taking from Kongor.
Yeah.
And this is with you have a couple auras picked up on the Ophelia. The Vagabond's giving even a couple regen.
Yeah, I was just. About
he's
to
only
mention
sitting at 3.6 armor at the moment, which is if the more traditional like Abyssal Bulwark build on Warbeast, he'd be sitting at over 10 armor.
Yeah,
and he would just be a lot more tanky.
Well, that's boring.
That's boring.
Everyone does that.
Good point.
Gotta be different. Yeah, trust Boxy to be a little different.
Even picks up a chalice.
Yeah,
that's different as well.
I saw that too, and that was a little that's a little curious to me. It's like, are you really using enough mana to warrant that? But especially with how lifesteal right now. Oh, I guess with the
Agnes coming in.
Oh no, he misses the stun. I mean, Boxy, yes, did react to that somehow fairly well, but yeah.
The electric eye actually, I think, didn't go off, and that maybe could have.
Oh, true.
Messed up Magnus, perhaps.
Oh, they're still gonna go. Okay.
All the metamorphosis is off, but TP does come in, so that I think will scare them off.
Magnus actually, okay, he is going to be fine. He was caught behind there a little bit, but does Homecoming Stone back. So they're trying to get a pretty significant kill here onto that Warbeast, but clearly Boxy a little too slippery. He's able to escape
I think
there.
Had the Electric Eye come out, we would see stun into Eruption and then the Marksman shot, and that would probably be a dead Warbeast, but the Eye just didn't quite. He didn't even go for it, so I guess at that point just figured I missed the timing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we do have. Oh, sorry.
Well, it's just it is plays like that where again you definitely it is understandable the Deadeye Bounty here with the break, using some ringer, not your typical lineup. Communication, you can see plays like that. That's where communication a little bit is kind of coming into play here.
Yeah, and that's definitely a fair point to bring up. When you're used to playing with certain players for so long, and then you just swap out, even just one player, sometimes can throw off some stuff a little bit. But yeah, I was gonna point out that the token did go out onto Rally, so they're valuing his presence with the compels to get off more than one when they do take fights. Over the, I guess in this case it is a Warbeast, and you could argue, how much does Warbeast offer when his Metamorphosis is down, which is a fair point. So not necessarily needing to put the token on their carry in this particular instance.
Yeah, but even that though, I think then Midas is an argument can be made for him. Honestly, you know, he's not doing too bad, and he's a hero that has a lot of good reset value, so he could have been a good candidate for it as well. But yeah, I don't think they're wrong here. It's just like I said, that could have been a debate. Oh, bottom lane, Chelly is going to be picked off down here. You did see Malphus coming out from Hellbringer, but yeah, not accomplishing a whole lot, unfortunately, in the end, it seems like, for the Legion side. I got there a little bit late, so I'm not exactly sure how that played out, but well, the kill in favor. Okay, it was a 1-for-1, I should say. Okay,
there were 2 split fights, one on the ramp going into the Legion jungle, and then one more in the center of the jungle. Each support both getting picked up. Bottom lane, or bottom, yeah. He's gonna invis and, oh, dust?
No,
Just
that was Ring of
missed.
Sorcery.
Oh, okay. Oh, he does have a dust,
He
though.
does, yeah.
But that was, you're right, that was the Ring of Sorcery. I don't know, I was just expecting the dust to come out.
It is a
Oh,
similar
that's a nice swap.
animation. Okay, so Scott's gonna
Rally
be
went in with the compel, but didn't have mana for the slam.
I was gonna say he might just want to die there, but no, he does get ported back. And that'll be the end of that. So yeah, a little bit of split fight as mentioning going on there, man. Getting Scout would have been huge again for the Hellborn team, but he actually popped the invis right before they jumped him, and obviously that allowed him to escape in the end. So good job by Imba Boy at the same time. But man, this lead again, a lot of similarities to last game, and you know, even in the sense that this team fight value here on ECX is pretty damn strong. Now getting there, that's not going to help. Panny gets picked off here in the middle lane. Rally does find that easy kill, and that is his first individual kill, at least, that he's got in this game now. So, you know, he got very early portal key and a lot of great farm here early on, but hasn't been able to get the solo kill just yet up until that point. Right there.
Did you, by chance, catch what happened in the top river?
I did not. I watched Panny die in there, so.
Scout was opening onto a Luna, and throughout the marksman shot, and then Pharaoh was going for the hook and actually missed the hook. Had he hit that, that would have been a dead Luna, but Luna actually sidestepped the hook.
Oh, yeah, you gotta get those kills, especially with the momentum of this game here in favor of BMG. Gotta be able to capitalize, but coming up short. You mentioned this possibility here, and sure enough, Boxy goes for it, of course, the shield breaker now on top of the Elder Parasite. So
yeah, I mean, it's a
hard.
crazy combination. We've seen it before on Malikan. Malikan can do so much work with an EP and a shield breaker.
Oh yeah.
It's not the traditional Whispering Helm, Insanitarius Shrunken Head build, but it's a very strong build in its own right. Does a lot of damage. Shieldbreaker with the minus armor at 20 to 25 minutes into the game does a lot of damage with that minus armor, because heroes in general just don't have a whole lot of armor. So being able to cut through their defenses and deal so much damage at this point of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, being the flat armor that it reduces rather than a percentage is definitely makes it that earlier game impact that much stronger. Midas, he is going to get picked off, so Zane not going to miss this hook. He easily lands it on a Midas and secures the kill, so obviously a very important one there for Legion. Really, every single kill is pretty important at this point for ECX right here, capitalizing on what they get, and this is going to be another chance here. Ophelia is going to get jumped on by Malphus. He does have the creeps, but good lockdown to follow. Should be enough, you would think. She still has Ophelia's touch. She's not going to use it there. Figured she was dead. Probably was, so yeah, good to hold on to that cooldown, but they do secure the kill in the end. But now you got a staff here on Rally. Level 3 shield breaker going to be finished on Warby soon. A sheepstick's even coming for Midas, so despite him dying middle there, he's going to be getting that sheepstick here coming up in the near future. Yeah, Baltazar, back-to-back games, kind of just picking up on that. Played the Bubbles the first game, and now Midas this game here, so a little bit different, but hey, he's doing them both pretty well, actually.
Yeah, it's a strat that they've actually been working on quite a bit, and they've actually had a little bit of practice doing this. I think sometimes they normally would have Macera, I think it is, as their 5th. So they'll put him on the initiator depending on the hero. If it's the Pebbles, I think Macera plays it, and then Make plays the support role. But we've been seeing Make in both games playing the initiator, so he's doing quite a good job stepping in, I think, if that is the case.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up. Actually, we saw last week in Macera is their new 5th, as we talked about. Again, Teltuk no longer playing competitive anymore, and Iceland Go-Go, I guess
Iceland
a
Go-Go too,
similar
yeah.
situation there.
I think it was time constraints for Iceland. I think it
Yeah.
just wasn't working out for him. And then obviously Celtic, I think, moved to Australia or something.
I believe he moved back to Australia, yeah.
Oh, back
I
to
guess
okay,
he
yeah.
is Australian. Yeah, I didn't even know that,
Okay.
honestly. So he was just
That's
living
cool.
in Europe for abroad or for school or something like that. So, anyways, point being, they had to go through another 5th again. Macera was officially picked up by them as of last week, and so I believe that still is the case. Just happens to not be here today. But yeah, even with that though, again, Macera not your typical jungler, however. So.
I think when they do pick up a Parasite, Masera, as he will be the one playing that, so Fuzin will be on the support. So it really depends, I think, on what heroes they decide to go with, that like how they kind of switch up a little bit with their roles. As Fuzin always, I think, will be playing the Ophelia and whatnot. But yeah, it's really cool to see BMG doing a lot of jungling strategies. I think it adds a lot of versatility to their drafts and their gameplay.
Oh yeah, no, you saw, and again, it's like I hate saying it like this, but Season 3 champions here in BMG, so
Yeah.
and they're deservingly so. But again, they were notorious for running the non-jungle.
And that was without junglers, exactly.
But we have seen kind of a difference here, and maybe they didn't win a cycle or anything like that. But honestly, in a lot of ways, you saw an improvement of this team when they did get with Teltuk, and then even with Iceland Go-Go, getting that jungle factor, it no doubt provided that next level of play for them to be able to go to. And I think, even though again they didn't win a cycle, and yet they won the championship last season, in a lot of ways they are better this season and this time around, and they were, at least, with the players that they had. Now they have again kind of continued to change a little bit, so we'll see now how that continues here. But I think that argument can be made at least.
Yeah, and when you're so used to not running junglers and then suddenly switching to junglers, it switches up your whole strategy, because suddenly, you don't have that second support helping you win your lanes, and things, you have two solo lanes instead of one, and it just kind of disrupts or changes the flow of how the early game goes, the difference between a jungler and a support. So it's just one of those things where you have to play with it a bit, and then you get used to it, and BMG's at that point now where they've gotten used to it.
Yeah. Oh, Scout. Almost ran into the Bondi rally right here, but turned around, decided it was best not to, as he did have backup, but still not worth it right there. Yeah, Maki's had that Staff of the Master now for a little bit. Just have a ring mail picked up. I think that just is eventually going to turn into that Soul's Bulwark is talking about. Again, not only great for him, but this team in general, especially with the Warbeast there.
Resto Stone, by the way, picked up on Hellbringer, and he's actually, I think, looks like he already used it once, so we must be rambling a little bit too much about junglers. But, so Hellbringer has a Resto Stone, and Scout has this Shrunken Head picked up now. So a lot of the secondary, or even, I guess in Hellbringer's case, first tier of items, although it is a big one, are starting to come through. Sheepstick on Midas, though. It's not as early as last game on the bubbles, but around 25 minutes, still nothing to scoff at having a Sheepstick. So Baltazar back-to-back games, picking up that quite early Sheepstick.
Here comes that Kongor kill, and there we go. So yeah, the Midas, in fact, speaking of the Sheepstick he just got, he also just gets that token. So yeah, we're talking about that earlier. It's like, there really is no very obvious token hero here on this Hellborn side, and so first one goes to Rally, this time goes to Midas. Pick it up here, but yeah.
Warbeast bottom lane. Holy cow, that damage on Magnus.
Yep. And then sure enough gets picked off by the Hellhounds in the end. So I kind of caught that as he's sitting in his steam bath, but it did seem like he dropped pretty quickly right there. Right prior to that. As we now have Scout actually is pushing out the top lane and gets a tower kill at least. So again, look at him, boy, man. 550 gold per minute. 4,000 gold saved up. So Scout definitely is going to be a very big influence in this game right here, but really needs that supporting cast. I mean, he kind of does have it, though. He got the Portakey on Magnus now. He got the Resto Stone on Hellbringers we're talking about. So a lot of these core items have now been developed here on this Legion side. So just like last game, there is definitely hope here for for EVO Corporation. What they got going.
Yeah. The dude's nuts at finding farm. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, BMG is controlling, I would say, 2/3 of the map at least, just like last game. And Immaboy still finds a way to get his farm continually progressing. It's just really nice to watch how he does it.
Oh, over here we got Rally. Bound Eye is going to find Magnus to compel. It's in. Oh my god.
Lead it off the map.
It's like, okay, yeah, what just happened? That's a level 2, by the way. It's only a level 2, as it's now called Tectonic Slam, apparently.
I really want to see Rally pick up a Resto Stone and a Grimoire, and then just do that twice.
A Resto Stone Grimoire?
Yeah, Grimoire to amplify the spell damage by 20%, and then Resto to do it twice. He's got to be really fast with his fingers to Resto and do the combo twice in 6 seconds, but we got to see it.
Seems pretty good.
It's a lot of damage.
It's interesting you say that because obviously Grimoire has been notoriously considered a awful item now by so many people.
Okay, I don't think we'll see Grimoire, or at least I don't think he should maybe consider Grimoire, but I think Resto isn't really out of the question. I mean, he wants a demonic here, which is perfectly fine. That's a great item.
Yeah.
But I think Resto wouldn't be super bad. Being able to even compel twice.
No, absolutely.
Let alone get the slam off twice.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say use the compel once to go in, initiate, and then even use the second compel to get somebody out of the Pharaoh wall if need be.
Yeah, no, Resto definitely would. And again, I wasn't suggesting that that's what you're seriously saying there, but I was kind of going a little bit different route with Grimoire specifically, and that I personally didn't even realize. Like, so when you mentioned it, you activate it to then enhance the spell. For some reason I tied that in with magic damage specifically, but
yeah, I think it says spell damage on the.
I think you're right. Yeah, no, I think you're right. That's just something I kind of tied in. I wouldn't be surprised if others do that as well, but yeah, it makes sense that it's a spell, and even though it does physical damage, of course, it would be a spell that he uses. So yeah, you could actually, it should benefit that. So, Aluna, she's in a lot of trouble here. She's going to run into Andromeda, and marksman shot. Oh, Deja Vu, she tried to destroy it right there, just a little slow.
All these spells are just coming out of nowhere. There's Pharaoh Rocket, marksman shot, even demonic wave flying at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Scout, Harkons. Back-to-back game Harkons.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense because he's playing against 3 strength heroes, and they have a Bulwark picked up, so they are kind of tanky to cut through, and they don't have like a Gnomes or any. They actually only have 2 vestments picked up, and it's on the 2 heroes that are the easiest to kill in that regard. So,
see right there, he opens up, and not the most explosive damage,
doing a lot of damage.
Enough right there in the end.
See, Rally has, was it 5.5 magic armor, and then with the Harkons he goes down to 0.5. So the Harkon's just making his auto attacks do tons of damage.
Yeah. Gets dropped right there, so maybe a little surprise too. So Rally a little far up right there and gets caught out. Meanwhile over here, Malphus coming down. He tried to catch Magnus, but with that backup there, Midas having to run away. He does have a haste trance. That'll help, of course, with his escape. And possibly go for a kill still. You can find somebody else, but Scout's actually going to hunt him down here.
How long on the haste? It's about to wear off, so Scout might open. Here he goes.
There you go. Oh, man.
Could sheep him, though. Does not get stopped from the
silence. No, he portal keys, but they're going to find him.
Malphus
dodged it, though, but it doesn't matter. The marksman shot's lined up. He gets the kill. The Malphus made it, cleared out the trees. It's like, all right, we're going to find you. Even though the stun didn't hit. So, nice another kill right there. Even though it seems like we're seeing a couple of kills now from ECX, the lead's getting bigger for the Hellborn side over here at the same time of BMG. So, another one of these kind of interesting games, really. Again, it's very similar to last game. I keep going back to that.
Yeah, it definitely is. Going all the way back to the drafts. Hook onto Warbeast. That should be a dead Warbeast.
Yep. certainly
Um,
is. I mean, that might change it now a little bit. That's a big pick.
yeah, and if we look at the two solo cores, it's a Scout against a War Beast. I would favor Scout in that matchup heavily, simply due to the disarm effect. Uh, really disruptive to War Beast. If he can't auto attack, he's kind of just going to be sitting there for a second or two. Well, it's a 2-second disarm, so 2 seconds where he can't get in damage and as well as life steal back up. So that is tough for War Beast. He does get a Shrunken and now an Arcana, so I think that will be, I want to say Resto. I don't think Hellflower is out of the question. It's boxy. There's 4 items an Arcana can make. It could make a Harkons, but he already has Shieldbreaker, so I'm gonna rule that one out. I'm thinking Resto, but we'll have to see what he goes for.
And we have seen Resto. Resto, the idea of the Metamorphosis twice it's pretty powerful. So, I mean that's when it's like Warbeast is a really interesting hero when you think about it that way. Where with that ultimate, he is so not nearly as intimidating. I mean, yes, a lot of heroes work that way, sure, but I don't know. It just seems like him even more to an extent. It's like when he has ultimate, he's really scary. When it's not up, it's like you can kind of run away from him, kind of deal. So
Yeah. And the one drawback to Rally picking up the Bulwark is that Warbeast can't pick up the Demonic for himself, which is one of Warbeast's really core items. He could still go for something like a Basher to provide himself with extra lockdown, but not thinking that he needs it since his team has a lot of lockdown already. They do pick up a second Sheepstick on Ophelia, and I believe he even sold his Mana Ring to pick that up.
yeah.
But yeah, he does pick up a Sustainer, so it is going to be a Resto Stone.
Yep, there we
Which
go.
was the most obvious choice to me out of the 4 Arcana items.
It is a little odd still not seeing an Abyssal Skull, though. I will say that.
Yep.
On the Hellborn side, especially having that War Beast. Midas gets Sky in the middle lane, by the way, but no, the Talbot support. He's going to be fine. Malphus catches a couple though in the background. Resto Stun used by Hellbringer. There's a second Malphus catching Midas. Midas will eventually fall. Magnus comes in with the eruption, but he just melts to War Beast. Seems like two auto attacks right there, and he goes down. Scout now Sheepstick, and he'll fall too. The double Sheepstick here on the Hellborn side. It is very powerful. Look at this, though. Ophelia, she's going to die to the Malphus chasing her down, it looks like. Meanwhile, Boxy's getting a hat trick, though. Okay, there we go. I was watching Ophelia running that whole time.
Did he just get run down from Malphus?
They just ran her down. Alright, killed her in the end. But meanwhile, again, a hat trick for Boxy, and BMG cleans up that fight very well. It seemed like ACX, a big part of that fight, they really got television on that Midas. They really wanted that Midas dead. And they chased a little too far.
Perhaps, yeah. Malphus getting the mid tower, they do so much damage, even take out the group wave. Those things are ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Was that 2 buybacks? One on Scout and one on Hellbringer?
Yes.
To stop the push from BMG, so they don't lose any base, but at the cost of 2 buybacks. Scout actually picking up a Dancing Blade on top of that, so despite being forced to use the buyout, I actually had enough money to pick up a Dancing Blade and have another 1,000 gold, so I guess he was sitting on quite a lot of gold before they went into that fight in the middle lane.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised like you that he must have had almost like 5,000 gold or something like that. I didn't check it right before that fight happened. So yeah, but as mentioned, he buys back, then buys a Dancing Blade here, and so he's going to be able to turn that into probably the wing bow, of course, coming out, and that will be a great pickup. You made the point earlier. I mean, when it comes to carry versus carry, at least in this game specifically, you definitely like the Scout's advantage because of the disarm alone. Very strong tool to have to deal with if you're Warbeast, and by deal with, I mean you can't. You just have to kind of accept it more so, and ideally have your teammates support you with locking Scout down.
Yeah, they have 2 Sheepsticks, and as we saw in the middle lane, he got sheeped, and that allowed Warbeast to just, I think he like 4 or 5 shot him. So with that EP, he just attacks super quick and then just brings you down. Sheepstick top lane on the Scout.
Yeah,
nice job from Pharaoh.
But Pharaoh there with the response. Minus one out the transmute. The Pharaoh, though, again, the mummy wall, and it does eventually get him killed. Meanwhile, marksman shot not going to be enough for a kill. But as they run away, figures might as well. Over the Conqueror pit down here now. Warbeast activates a Shrunken. Malphus comes out. Hellbringer trying to survive this whole time. Gets swapped out, and the second Malphus goes down. And then he Portuguese away, actually. Hellbringer's still on the run. Deathgrowl doing his best to escape right here. but they are chasing him down heavily. Warbeast especially. Still trying to fight it. Comes out of ultimate form, but he does eventually auto-attack him down for the kill right there. So took a damn long time, but did get it. But now you got the backup here in ECX, and actually Scout's going to open on a Boxy. That was a very greedy play by Boxy right there, kind of running in. Just ran right into several heroes. He obviously didn't know that they were there, I guess, but now he's dead. Did he buy back?
Andrew, oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, he just got bashed like 3 or 4 times. Oh man.
Yeah,
that is just, I'm sorry, that's just funny.
Oh, no, he's dead. But again, Warbeast, though, despite that decision there, he actually buys back, comes back into the Conqueror pit now. And they're going to kill it pretty quickly here. So that works out at least for the Hellborn side. Box, I like it. This is now the 3rd Conqueror. They've given the token to a different hero each time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. First it was Rally, then Midas, and now Warbeast. So I think it makes a lot more sense now because he has the Resto. So at least he has 2 Metamorphosis to work with. So
True.
It's not he's going to come out of that first ulti and then just be clunking around, can't really hit anybody. So yeah, Scout gonna go in the background here. They're gonna
Big stuff
initiate.
for Penny. Look at that rune cleaver damage, hitting them both very, very hard. And Warbeast will fall for the first time. He's trying to get off that path of destruction right there. With the seismic slam. Yeah, they get the kill to Magmus. Pharaoh, he will also be chased down. So nice response. So they get the token used right away at least, but it results in a couple of deaths for them. And now they're pushing back out this bottom lane. So this game just continues to be very interesting. A case of like there's no obvious team that's pulling away. It's been very still in the sense as far as where we have with the lead here for BMG. They've been around this golden experience lead now for a while. A little bit of bouncing up and down, but ECX has been sticking in there. And again, Scout the big focus there on that. There's the window, jeez.
So I just wanted to point out before we get too far ahead is that before Kongor went down, I believe Magmus bought out to, I think, try and defend it. So that was one buyout on Magmus. I'm not sure when... Okay, no, never mind. Hellbringer bought back when Scout did.
Yeah.
So that's three single buybacks on ECX now. And I think Warbeast bought back just to get the Kongor. So that's the buyback situation, just to recap.
Okay, yeah. Definitely in a game like this, again, very seeming like, even again, the stats suggest maybe a little bit different than that, but pretty even overall. Okay, we got to talk about this here. And how, when I see it in his inventory, it will be for certain, but Warbeast just bought a spyglass. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, well that is because he saw Scout going for the wing bow. And I don't know if they got the information that he has it finished or not, but he actually did just complete the wing bow. Okay, so he's going to farm the wave there, so they should spot that out if somebody checked to see that was finished. But yeah, if he picks up the spyglass, that is definitely a reactionary pickup to the wing bow.
I find this even a little more amusing as there we go, it is official, that his teammate Fusen has been very adamant that this is an awful item. Arguably the worst item in the game, and not to put words in his mouth, but he's trollishly picked it up in cases as a support just because to kind of make that point. Yet here we're seeing it right here. And here we go. In fact, they're going to jump Scout right here. Malphite, quick reaction. There's a Sheepstick on the Scout. Is it going to be enough for the kill? Yes, it is. Too much damage in the end. The barbed armor on Pharaoh not going to matter. He goes down. Down goes Hellbringer. A hat trick for Boxy. That Spyglass doing work. Quad kill coming out as well. Meanwhile, the backdoor attempt from Magmus. Not sure what the plan is there, though. He's not much of a hero that can siege the base too effectively. So Panny just simply trying to survive this whole time and distract, if anything. But clearly a dominating fight for BMG there as he actually escaped. Wow. An escape from Panny there. But damage is definitely done. Look at the box. He's going right for the base. Doesn't even care about anything else. So, yep. He hit so hard there, man. Quad kill.
So yeah, what I noticed, at least in that fight, was I don't think Hellbringer got the second Malphite off. He got sheepsticked, I think. Whether it was from Midas or Ophelia, that's a good job by them. And then I don't think, yeah, we didn't have a Magnus eruption.
Holy
Here we go, fight.
crap. Again, we're just seeing heroes bursted down left and right. Warby, so he buys back immediately. And I'm guessing it's going to do the post-haste deal. He doesn't have enough gold for it, actually. Oh, that's embarrassing. Anyways, we do see a fight here for the Legion side, kind of fighting them out, actually. Ophelia's going to be picked off here. Maybe. A scout's locked down, though. Can't finish her off, and actually, Ophelia will make the escape as a result. So, yeah, so...
That stun from Aluna was huge.
Yeah, to help them escape there. That was a little little unfortunate, though. I think the reason why they stayed there big time, even after Warby's got bursted down, because he bought back and was planning to post-ace in, but he actually didn't have enough gold for the whole combo there.
Oh, wow, yeah, he has Striders, and maybe I guess it's flying out.
He just got post-ace now, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's unfortunate. But we did have the final buyback on both Scout and Magnus, so once again, they hold off the racks with buybacks, but yeah, that could be the last time if the fights keep going the same way that ECX is able to hold off the racks from eventually going down. And it was the final buyback as well onto Boxy on the Warbeast, so both hard carries for both sides are now out of buybacks.
Wow, that's true, actually, and especially
this game could come down to initiation and pickoffs. But yeah, sorry, you were saying.
Well, that's a great point about the no more buybacks on Warbeast especially. I mean, this game's not over just yet. In fact, here we go. Malphus, another big fight breaking out right here. Warbeast sitting on top of Scout, putting in the auto attacks. It's not going to be enough, though. The Mummy Wall comes out. Barbed armor up as well. He needs to be careful with that. Magnus does it with the Eruption. Scout again locked it onto him. He's in that sheep stick. The chase on him now, and yes, he will go down. And this time, as mentioned, he is not buying back. They even call GG's. At least one player does, and there's a vote to concede. Hat-trick for Baltazar, and it will be official. So, yeah, the action really started to pick up here in these last 10 minutes or so. But in the end, BMG is victorious yet again. So they will take the 2-0 victory here over EVO Corporation. And that's got to feel good. Again, no matter the full rosters or not, it's still a victory for BMG in the end. And that's... they're happy about that, I'm sure. So impressive play for them. Pretty good series overall. Your final thoughts?
Yeah, definitely a great series. So yeah, both teams going with similar strategies in both Game 1 and Game 2. The execution, I would say, was there for most of the game from both squads. We got to see the burst power of both Scout and even Rally from both sides. And then I did question the item build coming out from Warbeast. But in the end, it did do quite a lot of work and a lot of damage in the fights, and he made it work. So kudos to Boxy making that work. And but yeah, good series overall.